First of all, welcome, Lauren Jones, all the way from I don't even know where you are right now. Where are you?
I'm actually at home in Bratislava, Slovakia. Yeah.
How on earth did you develop such an amazing frame? So let me just tell you something. It's amazing to me how there's a few people, pros that I've danced with, who feel I would say similar to you in that there's no rigidity, there's no tension, there's nothing like that, but it's just right there. And it also doesn't matter whether the connection is moving this way, or from the elbow moving this way. It's like it's always on, but it's relaxed, but not like it's not gooey. Like, and Chuck mentioned this, right? When you were doing the
Mhm,
acceleration, he said, Lauren kind of has her whole frame switched on. So one of
mhm.
the questions that we had was, how do you develop your frame as a follower to always be on receptive without being tense or rigid or too gooey?
Yeah, yeah. Well, first of all, thank you so much for your lovely compliments. That's already made my day. Thank you.
You're
So
welcome.
I wrote I wrote down a few things. If you see me kind of jump here, it's because I've written notes down. Didn't want to forget anything. Um, so just from like a mental standpoint, as you said before about just being on, and I actually have my inside voice saying, "Be ready to move. Be ready to move. Be ready to move." Quite often when we complete a pattern or we think we're safe, we kind of just sit back or relax into our body and become kind of passive. Either we kind of unactivate our muscles. So basically, I'm trying to be ready to run a 100-meter sprint at all times, even when I'm trying to be still or calm. So that way, your muscles are activated, especially in your legs. I'm also on the back of the ball of the foot. So even if I do roll through to the heel, I don't have my weight so fully back weighted that now I have to pull forward or change something in my upper body to compensate for that. Um, so yeah, inside voice saying, be ready to move. I also kind of visualize a pliable wire kind of going through um, my upper body, so from fingertip to fingertip across my back. So it's not like a steel bar that you
Yeah,
dance
yeah.
like a robot or a wet noodle. It's a pliable wire. So you have tone through your body, but not extra tension that makes you really stiff. And then everything else comes from the bottom half, the legs. So like really channeling that energy down rather than holding it tight in your chest, which can often happen when we're stressed out, right? When we're overthinking, we kind of stop breathing. So yeah, trying to channel all of that down lower. Um, and it sounds strange, but breathing also, we also forget to breathe
Helps.
sometimes,
Yeah.
or just take a deep breath because taking slow out will also help release tension in the shoulders as well.
Do you
So
know,
with that, yeah,
just on the breathing, Lauren, whenever I'm in class and someone says they want to, engage your core and they sort of tell you the technique to engage your core, I can't breathe. Like, I always like, how am I breathing while this is happening? So
yeah,
do you just have to relax to that point where it's only slightly on? Is that kind of
yeah.
the secret?
Yeah, well, this actually it's funny you say that because when I do work on frame in classrooms with students, or even in privates or whatever, I will go through what I do is my frame, and you can see that people are concentrating, they're trying to hold themselves in a position, and they have indeed stopped breathing, like
Yeah.
enough to keep them alive, but not enough to use it. So then reminding yourself and reminding people to breathe just helps you keep it in the position whilst engaging the diaphragm and that exhale out really does just release so much tension. So especially after I've done some accelerations or I'm a bit stressed, which happens a lot, telling myself to breathe whilst remembering all of the physical parts of engaging your frame just helps to relax and have that breathable motion whilst having engaged body. Yeah, so again, my mental voice, be ready to move. breathe, Lauren. Like, I'll just check in with
Yeah.
that. Yeah, yeah. I think there's a difference between like engaging core muscles, and for me, yeah, core is a big one, and also your shoulder blades, trying to get those in your back pockets. I stole that from a student actually who is a rower, and that's what her coach told her, to get shoulder blades in the back pockets, because it just helps to lower your shoulders and keep your
Yeah.
back engaged without having tense arms. And then after that, then I'm working on the breath. Yeah, but there's so
Just
much, and yeah.
I was gonna say also when I watch you dance, there's so many dances you've had which I love. There was a recent one, I think, at the Westie Spring Fest with Ludo. I think it was in
Oh
the
yeah,
Japanese Guild. Such a cool dance. It's like, I've watched that so many times. It's so good
thank
because
you.
Sammy keeps saying to me, "Be playful, like, have more play, like, less West Coast swing, more play," right? Or
Mhm.
what Robert Royston would call, stupid stuff. Like, where
Yeah,
you're just dancing with each other and doing yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you remember that dance. It was such a cool dance, but you
I
always
do.
have, um you look like you have amazing posture when you dance as well. You know, just the way that you hold yourself, it, like, you can just see it, and your footwork is sublime, which we're gonna get to. But yeah, the
Thanks.
posture, and so that is really just that whole, like you say, activating the back, lowering your shoulder blades, remembering to breathe,
Yeah.
keeping a
Yes.
loosey goosey, like a relaxed wireframe,
Exactly.
like
Yeah,
all of
this
those
is it.
things.
Yeah, exactly. For me, posture and frame are actually kind of separate things, because you can have kind of a good posture where you stretch up, but actually kind of a poor frame where you disconnect your arms to your body. You can also have a good frame with the engaged back, but also kind of here, like with your head. So when I'm just walking through the airport or standing in the queue, I'm working on both things, posture and frame. For example, the airport's one of the best places for me to practice. So when I'm walking, I'm thinking about posture and just trying to stretch through and walking straight rather than slumped. When I'm lifting my case, I'm trying to think about lifting through my back and pushing through and grounding through my feet, rather than just with the arm and just get
Yeah.
it up in there. Yeah, so I use every day to check in with my body from a posture and a frame perspective, to try and get it to be natural, right? So that when I am on the floor, it's one less thing for me to have to focus my attention on. But it takes little practices every day, and I'm still working on it as well, for sure.
Yeah, wow. Okay. Um, while I've got you, Suzanne and Sylvia, did anyone have a question on that particular issue about frame?
Mhm.
If you do, just unmute and ask the question.
Yeah, so I was taking notes here. Yeah, so you said that you use the everyday life to work on your frame and your posture. Do you do any specific drills at home alone, or that could help us beginners also?
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, specific drills, kind of when I do like a mini workout. And I know that that phrase tends to freak people out, and I totally get it, because we don't have time, right, to invest in 2 hour workouts every day. But even when I'm watching TV and just watching Netflix and having some downtime, I'll have a stretch band, and I'll do some kind of stretch band like exercises, just trying to open up my chest and my back, and just practice these motions. That helps to strengthen. Um, so there's, you can just go on YouTube, for example, and type in 5 minute exercises to engage your lat muscles or something like that. They're usually free. Um, also, but other than that, honestly, just having that mental check in, like even when you're in the kitchen washing up and we're kind of slumped over or whatever, it's, oh no, check it, and try to remember when you're brushing your teeth, rather than like, no, stand properly and do it. So it's just training yourself. It takes a while to have that inclination to check in with yourself, to get yourself in that position. But yeah, trying to do it when you're relaxing, even if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes every day, that's still better than nothing. And it doesn't mean you have to put in a 1 or 2 hour heavy workout session, but it's then getting you to be more aware of your body on a daily basis, which then makes it easier and easier as you go through. So yeah, stretch bands are great. And even not working out, but just doing some stretches on the floor, just kind of loosening up muscles, because often we're here when we're typing or we're driving or we're working. So just kind of loosening up, self massages and things like that can also help make you feel better, which then makes you want to connect better with your body.
Amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
All right, I'm going to jump onto the second question. This came from
Cool.
Monique. She was recently at an event, and then she said, "Oh, during the heats, my leader decided like there was this cool lyric in the song, so
Yeah.
he ended up switching and dancing on the lyric rather than on the beat." And she was like, "What do I do here?" And she followed the lead, and then but knew they were going off time to the beat, but were
Mm.
dancing on time to the lyric. So she said, especially in competitions, but what would you do, or what would your advice be? Is it okay, first of all, to dance to the lyric? If so, for how long? Blah, blah, blah. I know there's a lot of what ifs,
Yeah,
but
for sure. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I actually I like this question. I wrote down quite a lot of notes on this because there, as you said, there are a lot of different scenarios in which it can happen, right? So um, if I knew the song, first of all, then, and I am a very lyrical dancer anyway, I would jump on that same layer as the partner. And when I say jump on, depends on how that leader is set up to hit that lyric. Are they setting it up so that they hit it and they are taking the musical moment? Are they setting it up so that I'm supposed to take the musical moment, like some kind of showgirl pattern or something? So of course, if it was the latter, then I would take the lyric and do something, even if it was off time, but I would still be aware of that metronome that's still going on in the background, or as the bass. So keeping that in mind, even when you do go into a lyrical accent, will then just show that you're able to get back on it. If the leader is going to take that musical moment, I'm still going to keep that metronome in my head, that boom, tick, boom, tick. I don't need to know necessarily what count we're on of the phrase or anything like that, but I'm just keeping that bass timing for myself. But if they're taking that musical moment, actually, I would just kind of show that I'm enjoying what they're doing. And it's okay to take a moment to kind of not do anything if they are accentuating it. So they're hitting it. I'm like, yeah, go, or like nice, or like, yeah. I might, if it's very obvious what they're going to do and they're leading it through the connection, then I might do it with them. But if they've isolated it and I don't know what they're doing, rather than panicking, it's a time for me to just enjoy and keep that timing going in my head so that I'm ready to move again on time when we get back. Another situation would be that I still mark the timing with my feet, but my upper body accentuates the lyric. So I'm still stepping on time to the beat. Even it doesn't mean I have to do triples. I could just do walks. But my upper body is doing something, like my spare arm or my head, or even just my face is showing that I'm hitting that lyric. If I don't know the song at all, and they're setting me up for hitting a lyrical moment,
Uh-oh.
that's probably the scariest part, right? I mean, I know that I'm really lucky that English is my first language, and I do hear songs every single weekend all the time. So usually I know the song, but if it's a non-English song I've never heard before, and I can't even guess the overall tone or vibe of the song, then I'm going to stick to the layer of the song that I'm comfortable with, which is that bass beat, right? That boom tick. So even if I get given that opportunity to hit a lyric and I'm not sure what it is, then I will still stay within those 2 beat increments, like boom, tick, or 1, 2, or so I could do 1 and 2, or 1 and a 2. I could hit multiple different things. It doesn't have to be lyrical. But as I said, the common theme here is that I do keep that bass metronome through my head the whole time, even when it disappears, even when we're on a different layer. Last thing I would suggest, especially from a follower's perspective, is to not get far away from your leader to try and figure it out. Often when we're stressed, we try to get away from the problem, right? To try and work out what to do. But by doing that, you now cut off any quick reaction thinking because you're going to get pulled out. So staying closer to the danger and kind of just showing that you're like, okay, curious, not scared, you're curious, like what's going on, will help stay in that more positive mental mindset. And then lastly, like as a judge, if I'm watching this and I see that they're hitting lyrics, then I'm happy to see how that unfolds, and I will watch to see if that was on purpose and if the transition out back into the bass beat was smooth or not. If it continues afterwards, where okay, the feet are clearly not marking the time, then okay, that wasn't probably on purpose. That was a mistake. But yeah, I think following a lyrical it's difficult because it depends on. I would try to work out whether the follower is the one leading this off time or the leader is the one leading this off time, because I do judge partnership as well in prelims as well as in finals, but timing is for me my first thing. So it's okay to mark a lyric, for sure, but then go back to that base that we all know and love.
So I feel like what you're essentially saying is that it's okay for a short window of time to emphasize the lyric in whether it's you, your partner, or both, but then at some point that when the natural resolve happens, that's when you'll come back to being on time and being together with your feet on time to the boom tick, boom tick.
Yeah,
But just
yeah,
taking that moment is acceptable. Even in competitions, it's okay, so long as we find our way back, uh, within a
yeah,
reasonable time frame.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's so possible to do that if you're ready to move and if you're aware of where your weight is, whether that is split, if you're in the middle, whether you're on your left or your right, but you're now ready to move afterwards. Because you can still be on time even if you're kind of static and hitting something because you haven't weight shifted and moved yet. You're also, as a follower, waiting for the initiation from the leader of which direction you're going in as well. So yeah, I think for me, as long as you are aware of that, because I'll say boom, tick or da, 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 da throughout my head when I'm dancing, especially if I'm not sure, I'll find that first and then I'll get my body to respond. Even if I'm not moving, I could still be on my left foot, for example, but I'm still aware of that da, 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 da. So when I do move, my next strike will be matching that. Yeah.
When you say just on this, when you say you're aware of the boom tick, do you in your head, while you're dancing, in your head, are you thinking boom tick? Like literally, or is it more just in the body because you've created like a pulse that you now
Mhm.
can just feel it in the song? Or are you actively kind of thinking about it?
I'm not always actively thinking about it. A lot of the time, it is just kind of in my body now. But there are some songs that I have never heard before, or sometimes I just can't hear them for some reason properly, either because of the audio or something. And I will not only do it in my head, I'll actually say it out loud because I'm like, okay, I don't hear it. I don't kind of know where we're at. Before I do anything, I want to feel it first. So I'll say like da, da, da. Okay, here, da, here we are. And I will take time to find it before I start moving because I don't want to start moving before I hear it. And yeah, so if it happens in the middle of a song, because that happens quite a lot, where that bass beat disappears, it's still running, but you don't hear it. That's when people get the most stressed because they don't. Where'd it go? right? And then we don't know how to move, but it's still there. So I will still, if I feel like my leader's not sure what's going on, I will mark it by even saying it out loud, even when it's not there in the song, to help keep us on time, and
Wait,
also
do you
show
do
them
that
that.
in competitions? You'll say it
Yeah,
out loud in
yeah.
competitions.
Oh yeah, I make sounds all the time, especially if and it doesn't have to just be the like boom tick. If I want to hit like a da 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 da, I will say like da 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 da, like while I'm dancing, and it will just help me hit it. And any nervousness, any stress that would probably cause me to go a bit faster than what I want to in my body, because just stress. Now my brain is just focusing on that. It's just focusing on the sound that I'm hitting, and then it helps to relax and really, yeah. I actually have a whole class on that, sound bites and making sounds,
Ah,
because it's really
nice.
hard to get your body to not work with the sound that you make. Like if you
Yeah.
make sounds and then you get your body to do the opposite, it's really hard.
So I'm gonna ask you a favor. If I draw you in a pro-am again and we draw blues, go
Yes,
ahead and make the
da,
sound.
da, da. I do. I will totally do it, because I get way too into it too. Yeah, it'd be my pleasure.
Yeah, awesome.
So you talked about coming back within a reasonable amount of time. So how much time is a reasonable amount? Can it be like different for different individuals?
Yeah, so I think it depends on a number of factors, but the song itself, right, and that musical chunk. So you would want to finish the sentence, and sentences can be of different lengths. You can have a one-word sentence, right? Stop. Or you can have a longer sentence that creates that moment for the song. So for me, there's no kind of set amount. It would be more about if you danced lyrics the entire time but didn't mark anything with your feet. But it's a difficult topic, because in theory you're still dancing West Coast swing even when you're hitting lyrics. So I think as long as it makes sense for the song and that musical moment that you've taken together as a partnership, and as a follower, you're indicating that if you've taken that time to hit the lyric, that you're now showing the leader you've finished that musical idea and you're now ready to continue with the song. And the same with the leader, if they take it, that they're now finding you to lead you into the next pattern. I don't think there's a set amount of time. It's more to do with the song itself and expressing yourself to the music that you're listening to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
Because
I
for
feel
me,
like it's kind of trial and error.
yeah, I think it's for me, the song is like your best friend, right? Because you're both listening to that. You can't read each other's minds, but you're both listening to the song. And for me, it's about expressing the music, what you're hearing in the music. So competitions aside, even in a social dance, if you're hearing the lyrics and you're really vibing with the lyrics and you want to show and hit that, I think as long as you're trying to communicate that to your partner, that this is what I'm hearing, and trying to bring them with you. You're not trying to back lead them. You're not trying to make them do anything, but you're trying to show them through your body that this is what you're listening to and what you're trying to hit, and see if they can come on board with that. Then you can go on lyrics for quite some time, but your feet will still mark some kind of time with weight shifts or walks. It doesn't mean you have to do walk, walk, triple, triple in it for a 6-count pattern. Not at all. Yeah.
Yes. So I have another question that is close to this one. So if the beat disappears while dancing, sometimes the drums goes away or something like that. Could I still dance to the same beat that I was hearing before, or should I immediately try to find something else in the music to follow? And this is especially during competition.
Yeah, this is a really good question. If I am not sure what is happening within the partnership and there's no clear indication of what we are trying to accent, I will resort to sticking with the bass beat, even if it disappears. But I'm not going to be very prominent in my movement of hitting that layer because it's not so evident, like, or you can't hear it, but I'm still going to move through with my feet. So I will still keep the boom tick if it goes away. A good example is Calling You by, what's it called? Calling You by Outlandish. I think at 1:27 or something, it disappears for a bit. And often when I play that song in workshops, people get stuck, and I actually find myself continuing boom, tick, and then they get back on. And that song, for example, if you practice dancing to that and still keeping your timing, you will just go back on time as soon as it comes back in. There's not a lot else going on in the song to accent, really. It's quite chill. The vibe of the song is quite chill. So just keeping to that is probably the safest bet. Or you can go halftime, but I'm still, even with halftime, I'm keeping boom, tick, right? I'm still keeping that in my head. So that can help to show that, oh, it's disappeared, but I'm still marking it. It's just a bit more calm. And then, of course, the opposite, you could do double time later on to show contrast. But yeah, so either sticking to the same or half timing it could be a way to overcome times when that music disappears.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I love the fact that you mentioned that song that disappears. I've been dancing to these lyrical songs where that happens all the time. And I just, because I have a hip hop background, I'll go to whatever layer I hear, but I get off time to the boom tick, and I'll just be in the lyric, and then I'll hear something else, and it'll be over here and over here. And it realistically, I shouldn't be dancing to that yet because I'm not at that level, or I don't have that metronome going on. But also because I'm a freestyle dancer, a solo dancer, that's the way that we would dance. It's like, well, I'm on time to everything. That's what I think about. But it's like, and Sammy's like, no, you're dancing West Coast swing. You're off time. Like, come back and find the beat. So it's funny. We're actually catching up this week. I'm going to move on because Sylvia's also put a couple of questions in the comments, but I'll try to get through these 4 so I can ask some of those questions as well.
Okay.
By the way, that's great, and I'm gonna find that song at 1:40 or whatever you said, and rewatch this. I gotta try that out.
I've started creating a playlist actually for songs like that to use in workshops for this very reason, because it's not easy. So
So there's a poll on the Level Up community which says, what do we want to learn from pros? And one of the things, there's like multiple choices or lots of different subjects. And one of them is the most popular feedback was, I want to look better when I'm dancing. And so Philippe actually asked this question and said, what would be your advice for followers, who want to improve their quality of movement? And I know this is like, where do you go from this? Yeah. But like in terms of improving quality of movement, where would you start? Oh, and I should add, we have brand new people who've just come in, and we have lots of novices, we have intermediates, and we have advanced, and they're all saying this. It's from all levels. They're asking this question or saying they want to look better when they dance. And this quality of movement subject is such an important one. So over to you. What would you recommend in terms of just improving quality of movement?
I'm going to go through the list. So one of the first things I ask now in classes a lot of the time is, so who warmed up before they went to socials last night, or who warmed up before they came to classes today? Maybe 1 or 2 people put their hand up, but they spent 5 to 10 minutes warming their body up. So already when you're stepping out onto the comp floor, social floor, workshop, take time to do a warm up. I think we expect to look like someone before we even prepared our bodies for it first, and we're often stiff or tired or cold, and that alone can impact your quality of movement, because you're just not ready to move in the way that you know you can or that you want to. So investing time in stretching and warming up, and also cooling down as well, so that you're making sure that your body is taken care of in between dancing. So that's one. I'm going to get to more juicy ones. I'm going to get to the ones people probably don't want to hear first, and then I'll get to the juicy ones.
Here's your veggies. Eat these first.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I know, here's your broccoli. I'm sorry. Working out. And when I say, again, I said this earlier, right, but not an hour, 2 hours, but just to one song. If you play one song a day and do something to work on a particular area of your body, either just for strength training, but also for balance training. So balance isn't something that you practice once and you have it. No, you have to keep doing it. You constantly balance and you constantly work on your balance. So this is kind of down to awareness of your body. But I will play a song and I will go on one leg and I will put myself into different positions and I'll try to hold it. And if I start to wobble, I will try and bring myself back to being still. And what's happening there is that I'm not only strengthening muscles on like a single side of my body, but I'm also subconsciously learning what my range of control is. So when I am dancing and I reach a certain point, I know, if I go any further, I'm going to lose my balance. So this is my like optimum. So I need to manage it back. Kind of strengthening muscles in your feet. I'm always kind of going up onto the balls of my feet and slowly coming down, wiggling my knees, checking where my center like weight is over my feet. So building your awareness of your body and how it moves will then help you when you're on the dance floor, because you have so many things to think about when you first start out, and your attention can't go to all of those. And ideally, your attention is going to your partner because you don't necessarily know what they're going to do. We're not mind readers, right? So the more you can do working on your body outside of that will then just help you have it more natural when you're on the floor. But it's investing that time. You don't get to just do this after 2 minutes of training or taking 1 hour of a workshop. Unfortunately, I do this stuff every day. Even if it's just one song, I will do something. Or I'm constantly thinking about it, even when I'm a bit sad.
Yeah.
So yeah, working on like, I'm totally fine, very normal. But yeah, like working on balance and strength. So to have that awareness, okay, so when I do this is what it looks like. So that's the next level, is once you're kind of more internal, going to the mirror and doing certain positions or poses, doing it internally first, and then looking up and then realizing, okay, actually my left shoulder is up right now, so I need to bring that down. My hands are kind of in this position, so I need to soften them to look like this now and have more of a straight wrist. These kinds of things, you kind of look for your lines, and then once you've got that sort of in the mirror, then you go back to internal and you're thinking, how does this feel? How does this position feel? Where go all the way through to your fingertips, all the way down, like through your core in your feet. So then come away from that and do something else, come back, strike the pose, and do you have everything as you remember it in your head? Check your lines. Yes. Okay, cool. So that's one way that you can build it up. So when you do hit something, you know exactly where you're sending your body. You know what it looks like.
I feel like that's a really good reminder, actually, of just exploring your own body and moving again.
Yeah.
Like, I used to do that all the time, but while you're saying this, I'm like, when was the last time I did that properly? Like, took the time. It was like a month ago, I think, but probably longer, but from then to the time before. But I used to do it like daily. I would do it every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good reminder, I
Yeah,
think.
and life happens, and I totally get it. This is the thing. I don't expect people to go and join a gym now. It's just take one song, play one song on your Spotify playlist, or just take 5 minutes when you're watching TV to stand up and explore, and then sit down and relax again after that. But you can distract yourself while you're watching TV that you're working out. That's what I do sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's like experiment, play with yourself. No, don't do that. You know what I mean? It's just like
Play with some
playtime.
movement. Yeah,
Yes, that's
yeah,
way better put. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. Was there anything else on that topic? Was it just really
Yeah.
just the exploring your own movement and your limitations, and then visualizing it, but then also analyzing it in front of a mirror or something, and just to sharpen movement or lines or
Oh yeah, there's so much more. But that's like what, yeah, one of them. I mean, people have said solo dance classes help. I'm not actually solo dance trained. I'm self-trained. I've never done solo dancing, but from everyone I've spoken to, going to a solo contempt class, ballet, hip hop, or something does help because you become a bit more confident in your own body with what you're doing. Um, for me, I watch videos or I see movement and I like it. And without trying to analyze it too much, I just remember what was in my head and then I play and I try to do it myself. I don't want to look exactly like them, but I will take that idea. And it's about not wanting it to look perfect straight away. It's about being okay with it looking terrible when you start out. But often we want it, we want to skip, we want to take the idea and just magically be able to do it, which
yeah.
is great.
Have you
So it's getting over
found,
the embarrassment.
Lauren? You said something just then where you said you don't want to look exactly like what they're doing. Ha- This kind of triggers a question of um, sometimes I see dancers and they have these beautiful lines and all the rest. And then when I try it, I'm a totally different physique. I have short legs, long torso. I've got a big stomach, and it doesn't look anywhere near. I always say, like, my joke is, "Hey, I look like their twin when I'm doing this," but I look nothing like it, right? So then, are there things that you've sort of tried where you're like, that looks good in their body, but not so much in mine? How do I shape this to be more me? And or like, is that what you mean? Is that
Yeah,
yeah?
definitely. Yeah, absolutely. Like for
You
me,
do
like
have very much
I
a dancer's body, so you're well proportioned. Like you do have a sort of a really nice athletic dancer's physique. So you're kind of lucky in that sense. But are there still those things that you find? Yeah,
Oh, definitely, yeah. Yes, like for example, I love Bryn Anderson. I think she's amazing. I love watching her, and her body isolations are exquisite. But she's got a long torso. She's got long legs, but she's also got a long torso.
yeah,
So when she starts to body wave, it can go on for hours, right? Whereas for me, I have a very small. I think the space between my ribs and my hips is probably about that. So when I body roll, it's like done. But through the legs, I have long legs in proportion to my body. So I have to take, well, I don't have to, but I take a movement that she would do and it would be more lower body. I'm way more lower body styling anyway. So yeah, how she would do it and how I would do it could be the exact same move, but it would definitely look very, very different. Um, for example, and also Chantel, Pianetta, or Masha, they're ballet trained. I'm not ballet trained, so I look a bit more contemporary or jazz. So I can try to get those lines, but I don't have the training, the ballet and the turnout and the arms. I love their arm styling as well. So I think it's enjoying other people's movement, but then actually the beauty is that you do get to look different, and that's great. That's awesome. Can you train technique of how to do it well? Yeah, absolutely. You can look into that more, um, but it's great that you actually do look different because why would you not want to, right? And so
yeah.
enjoying yourself. Like when I watch, like I love watching you dance, Steve. Like you're so calm and grounded and
Oh,
smooth.
thanks.
I love it. It's yeah, I love dancing with you too, but I also love watching. So, and you've got a very strong looking like upper body as well. So for me, when you hit certain things with your upper body and lines, it just looks very powerful as well as calm. Like that's very unique because often powerful means strong and a bit kind of not aggressive, but like, so having
Yeah,
like power and peace at the same time, that's a very cool combination. So yeah, don't get despondent because you don't look like someone else. Enjoy the way that you can move your body and add like hip hop, for example, like your background with hip hop. Um, yeah.
Yeah, it's something that I think that I remember Emmeline saying that her brand kind of found her. I think that's true, probably like what you're saying, because when I see you dance, it's like, well, that's Lauren. Like I know it's kind of like your signature, the way that you move.
Mhm.
You know, I think your footwork is extraordinary, especially when I dance with you with some songs, and I'm just like, I'm doing triple step, and you've gone, and I'm like, I don't know what just happened, but that was awesome. Like it was so good, but it happened through the whole song. I'm just like, I don't even know what's going on right now. It's just your
I should be
footwork
able to
is
communicate that better.
no, your footwork is exceptional. Oh, I think you're just
Thank you.
playing with all the sounds within the music, and the amazing thing is like when I'm ready to go on the one, you're right there. Like it's yeah,
Yeah,
very,
and that's
very
that be ready to move part, right? But then being playful and enjoying it. And I think we, as humans, we're not actually taught how to learn effectively. We're not taught how to learn well. We get stressed out at the learning stage because we somehow think we're supposed to get it straight away. When no, that's not how it happens. And something we can understand in our heads, that we can see something and understand what they've done, but our body doing it is something completely separate, and that's a different investment of time. And people maybe don't understand that or see that. They think, oh, I know what to do and I'm doing it, but actually you've not focused on your body doing it well, or in a playful sense either. And it's time, it's experience, and it's progression, and that part should be fun, but we get stressed out about it, and we're
yeah,
looking for what's the right way to do it. It's like, but the right way is, there is no one right way. There's a right way for you that does involve time and investing in yourself and having fun with it the best you can. But don't get me wrong, I get frustrated with myself too. I
yeah.
sound like I'm preaching here, but I have moments of frustration all the time too.
I feel
But
like there's not
then,
enough hours in the day. Like I say this all the time. I wish I could just train 7 days a week because
yeah,
like you've just mentioned this solo movement, right? Or footwork or keeping time or like having that metronome and that pulse in your body. And it's like, well, I'm just going to add those to the 50 things that I want to train. It's like,
yeah,
trying to find, and then also you mentioned this, it's the repetition of the movement and actually imagining it, seeing it, visualizing it, playing with it, adjusting it, and then doing it enough times so that it just will happen organically, it'll come out. It's
yeah,
like you kind of have to choose what you're going to spend your time on with your, let's say, quality of movement or dance style, or what part of it you're going to improve before you can add on the other layers that may come later.
yeah, yeah,
And that's just
exactly.
time, right?
It is. It's time. It's having like, yeah, as you said, the list, like the list of things I have that I'm like wanting to work on. It's insane and it's exciting, but sometimes daunting on some days and exciting on others, right? But yeah, like picking one thing or choosing something that you feel, yeah, I would like to have that in my dancing. I think we're often searching for the answers from the teachers, which of course they have the experience and knowledge, and we want that, but we forget to kind of think about, well, first of all, why am I dancing? And what do I want in my dancing? And choosing kind of either private lessons or classes based on that, because you do get to decide, especially if you're, well, just in general, if you get to decide what you want in your dancing. Some people will like it, some people won't. That's totally fine. But as long as you like it and it's health and safety for partners, right? You're not causing any damage, but
Yeah.
um, you get to design the kind of dance that you would like to have and go search for that knowledge and then try it out and practice
Are you old
from there.
enough to remember those choose your own adventure books? Did you ever read those
No,
where you would read a chapter
no.
and then it would give you like 3 choices, do you go and fight the dragon? Do you run away to a cave or whatever? And then
Oh
it'd
yeah,
say,
yeah, yeah.
"Turn to page 25," and then you'd turn to that page and then you'd continue the story. That's
Yeah, and
kind
you
of
could do
what
them multiple different ways. Yeah.
that's kinda what I feel West Coast swing is. I kinda
Mhm.
feel like you learn for a few years and then it's like, "Okay, well, choose your own adventure. What is it that you wanna focus on and pay attention and bring into your dancing. And I feel like that's kind of the natural progression, which leads me to a question. I had a discussion with Kyle from the US last week, and he was saying that he has a coach. When you I have a coach when I chat with Semi, and he's my, let's say,
Mm,
overarching guide. Um,
yeah.
it, I was going to ask, do you have someone that when you're talking about this, the improving quality of movement or styling or anything like that, or your list of 50 things that you think you'd like to do you have someone that you sit down with and you kind of say, you know what, I want to do da 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 da, and they'll say to you, well, these are going to take you 2 years to get into your body, but this one's going to be something you could do in the next 4 or 5 weeks and have it. Like, do they help you order and systemize, like, okay, this is my learning journey, this is what's practicable and achievable? Or do you kind of have to figure that at your level, especially? Do you kind of have to figure that out for yourself?
That's a great question. Yeah, I don't actually have, I haven't had like a fixed coach that I've gone to. I've worked obviously with Chuck, and bless him, he's helped me so much on so many levels. And Z has also helped me when I lived in Singapore, and I work with Daniel a lot, and so we work kind of together on things. And he's been in the West Coast swim world a lot longer than me as well, so his knowledge is I'm grabbing hold of it. So he's been helping me a lot. But to be honest, it's been kind of self driven and decided on. I tend to work more with leaders on like connection based things. When it comes to styling, I haven't taken any coaching. It's been more watching and trying things out and just having fun. I love to move. I love to dance. I can't stand still to save my life. So I love moving. So it's been more honestly from leaders. I've taken a couple of privates from some followers based on leverage and things like that, from both a leader's perspective and from a follower's perspective. So but I've not had kind of one person telling me which way to go, because so far I've enjoyed the way it's been going for me. But I think it's important for you to work out for yourself what you want and what you need, rather than what you think you should be doing. Because everybody's going to have an opinion on what they think you should do. Like
Yeah.
yeah, and most of the time they're just trying to help, and it's wonderful, and it's very sometimes you can take bits of knowledge, but you know kind of how you feel best in different learning situations, so you decide what works for you.
Do you feel like that might be similar for a lot of people of your level, where they would get to a point where it's like, well, they don't have any fixed coach anymore, but it's more their own choices as to how they're going to develop and what they see and what they're going to embrace? Is there kind of a point in your journey? You said you danced because you lived in Singapore, which they have an amazing team and like a whole studio and such good leadership, I think, and direction.
Mm,
I think at
yeah.
some point, if you do those classes and you have all those levels, you're able to learn and grow and evolve a lot and gain a lot of skill. But did you find that even then at some point, the regular weekly classes, it's like, okay, I'm now getting smaller and smaller bits of information of like maybe refinement, but in an hour's class, there might have been 2 minutes, which was like, oh yeah, I'll do this and this.
Like,
Yeah, so
yeah.
you pulled that part out, but then you had to. Did you find also you had to then make a decision of, oh, okay, I'm going to develop myself this way beyond the classroom?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, actually, when I was in Singapore for a couple of years, and because of my work, I couldn't actually attend classes. I only did social dancing, and I took a few privates while I was there. Um, so it was when I came to Europe that I started taking workshops. And of course, they're from lots of different people. So I think it was gaining information from incredibly talented people out there with different ideas, different ways of teaching, and trying to find like, commonalities. Um, so the points that kind of seemed they were there across the board, and then extra pieces of information, seeing whether, okay, this is something I want to explore a bit more, or okay, I either don't understand that yet, so I'm just going to put that in the back of my head until I do. Or, okay, that doesn't, I respect that, but it doesn't kind of align with what I would like or where I want to go. So I'm going to leave that there, respect it, but leave it there. And then kind of building it that way. So picking and choosing where I would go next. And if there are certain teachers that I really enjoyed learning from, go to them regularly. I wasn't able to actually go to regular classes. This is one of the things for
Yeah.
me, that I had the blessing of being able to go to lots of different teachers, that I didn't have any regular classes. So my journey is probably quite different to a lot of people's or other pros. I'm not actually sure, because your original question was, at a certain point you kind of stop going to,
Well,
sorry, what's the
it's
original
more
question?
just that you kind of outgrow the class level, let's say. Not that
Oh,
you
okay.
outgrow the class level, but
Oh,
you've learnt what you can. Like you have that rapid growth of like, oh, there's all this great information. Then you start to get that in your body, and then it's kind of like you go to class. Well, this is my experience anyway. I go to class now, and there
yeah.
might be some classes where I don't learn anything new. That I've just spent
Mm,
an hour, but I'm always trying to think, well, what can I take away? What can I learn of this,
yeah.
or pay attention more to the follower's role, like what's happening there, or um, but at some point, it's kind of like you got to choose to go. Yeah, to continue to grow, I've got to choose these other things externally to give me that growth. That's kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
what I wanted.
Got
Yeah,
you. Yeah, for sure. So obviously workshops, you can't decide what you're going to learn. So if you feel like there are certain areas that are not being covered that you want, then yeah, seeking that out personally
yeah,
is definitely the way to go. Yeah, I went to Sean and Liz, for example. These are the people I worked with for like leverage and like strong weight supported movements, basically. And I went to both of them because I wanted the leaders and the followers perspective. Um, but even as you said, what I love that you just said is that if you go to a class and you've heard it before, but you still search for something to take. And even in those workshops, I love going back to basics. I love just working on that, trying to be clean without putting in any standing, anything else, just working purely on technique. And then thinking, okay, the information I'm being given, I've heard before. So can I take that and try and make it work with every single person that I dance with in the workshop? Do I have to troubleshoot? Oh, is that not, why is this not working for this person? How can I make it work for this person? So yeah, using workshops as like a playground to make it work consistently is also great. Yeah.
how do you judge novice dancers in a competition, and what, in your opinion, is the number one thing for novice dancers to work on to improve? So
Mhm.
specifically with novices, I think she's probably referring to timing, technique, and teamwork. What's how are you judging the novice level out of those?
Mhm.
And then, as general advice for novice followers, what's the thing that you would say? Hey guys,
Yeah.
let's improve this.
Yeah. So for me, for my judging, I actually kind of have similar criteria across all levels. I just expect a higher level of it throughout. So as you move up, I just expect a bit more understanding, a bit more awareness. So for me, timing, yes. And when I say timing, I'm looking from the floor up. I'm a bottom up kind of judge. So I am looking at your feet first. With all love and respect, no one has a face. I'm judging. I don't know what your face looks like, so I'm like, yeah, I'm looking at the overall body, but from the feet. So, are you marking it with your foot strike at the beginning of the beat and moving through? Um, when it comes to technique or quality of movement, it's about awareness of your body and the impact it has on your partner as well. So I'm not, because I understand that people get taught so many different variations of technique, but are you following the direction? As a follower, for example, are you following the direction that you've been given by your leader? Are you seeking connection? Are you responding to what they're giving you in the pattern? For leaders, are you giving clear indication to your partner of the direction you want to go in? Are you respecting the slot? Um, these kinds of things. And partnership, as I said earlier, I do judge partnership in prelims as well as in finals when you're judged together. But from the prelims perspective, I'm looking to see, because for me, what I value in the dance is the social part of it, that it is in fact a partner dance. So people that kind of disregard their partner to think that they need to show off exactly what they can do, that doesn't work for me, unfortunately. So taking care of each other as best you can is something that I will still mark. So for example, for a follower, if I see that the leader is really pulling through on the one from the arm, they haven't quite learned how to use their body yet, and the follower, instead of kind of pulling back, is managing distance, is kind of ready to move, still managing that very well, then that for me is a plus. I'm not looking for amazing styling and footwork at that point. If I see that you're managing the dance to make it work together. Same for the leader. If I see the followers having the time of their life, but not focusing at all on the partner and kind of moving out of connection, doing their own thing, and the leader's trying to concentrate and work out when they can lead forward, I'm like, yes, that's great. That's what I want to reward. That's what I want to see. So I think the one thing, it's difficult. I don't know if there is one thing, but I would say working on your own timing, solo timing, actually helps the partnership. It actually helps your technique. I think they're all kind of combined with each other, but if you have a clear understanding of the music that you're dancing to and you're able to walk or to triple to the time, it does make everything else a lot easier. So getting comfortable with that, then you can start building on the other things. But it's hard to answer that, because it also depends on the level of the division. Each competition, each weekend, it can be very different. So yeah, there's so much about competitions, I think, that people aren't aware of, and this is probably my biggest frustration in West Coast Swing. Actually, it's not that we have competitions. I think it's great, but it's the lack of education about competitions and what they are and how to see them, use them for yourself, rather than be kind of consumed and stressed out by them.
Can I just say thank you so much for saying that you judge the partnership, that you value the partnership even in prelims, because I've heard so many people say and have been coached to say, well, you've got to stand out in the crowd, and if it means hijacking to hit a thing or da 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 da. Da. Yeah, like
I'm
I
calm.
hear that, and the thing that I realize more than ever now is that when I dance, I want to be, I call it dancing as one. And this came from a Semian thing that he gave me, but it's where you equally position yourself, your partner, and the music, and you try to balance that out evenly so that you're in it together. Because when those dances happen, it's the best dance. Even if it was simple or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just, this is the best. Yeah. And it's like, if we can
Yeah,
just, I feel like when we say timing, technique, and teamwork, that should, I understand timing is critical, and it's probably the easiest thing to fault. But to me, I think people go, well, there's priority number one is timing. Priority number two is technique. Priority number three is teamwork. But I almost feel it should just be the other way around. Because if you've
mhm.
got timing and technique, but your teamwork stinks, I don't want to dance with you. like,
Yeah. Yeah,
like
for
it just
sure.
doesn't feel nice. It's like
Yeah,
I'm much more happy if you're with me and your technique isn't perfect. Who cares? Or like you're a little bit uptime. Who cares? I don't care, because you're with
yeah,
me. There's nothing
yeah.
worse than me holding a follower's hand and then they're off, and then I'm like, I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
leave with me in the dark. And this is it. When I said about timing, for me, timing is a part of teamwork.
yeah,
If you see it like that, you could take timing just for solo movement, but I see it as, no, you work on your solo timing to help the partnership, because if you're on time and your partner's struggling, it's a lot easier for them to get back on time from both a leader or a follower's perspective. So you work on your timing to help the partnership, not to just show off yourself. So, but yeah, for me, that's kind of how I see it. Yeah.
yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, but you can't,
Lauren,
obviously
we
you
are
can't train the partner, right? So yeah. Oh, sorry, I could talk for hours. You got to shut me up.
I was going
I've
to
had
say
coffee too.
we're actually out of time, so I really do appreciate you coming on and having a chat. I would love to do this at some point again in the future. I really
Yeah,
appreciate you
absolutely.
just catching up and want to say thanks and thank you for Suzanne and Sylvia for jumping on the call as well. I know, especially from a time zone point of view, it's a little bit hard for a lot of people. Sylvia
Yeah,
says
yeah.
thanks, and Suzanne, I think if you want to unmute yourself and say thanks, that'd be great. And then yeah, it's really nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. And
You too.
thank you. You've answered a lot of great questions today.
No,
Yeah,
thank you
thank
guys
you.
for your time. You're so welcome. It was lovely to meet you, Suzanne. I hope to see you at an event sometime soon, and you too, Steve, as well. Absolutely. Thank you, guys. I'm sorry, I got very excited about a lot
No, it's
of
awesome. I love
things
it.
and
I love it.
No, thank you so
But yeah,
much.
thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
enjoy your evening, guys. Take it easy.
Thanks, Lauren. See you.
See you. Bye. Bye. Bye.